Hi, my name is Carrie Case, and now we're going to talk about how to format a basic outline in Word so that you can save yourself some time and frustration and not fight it so much. Making outlines is one of the requirements of a lot of classes where you'll have to type up a formal outline for, say, public speaking or English or history, and you're going to have to submit your outline as literally as a map of what you plan on discussing in a paper you're going to submit at a later date. It does have specific guidelines. Some instructors want an abbreviated outline, some of them want bulleted outlines, and some of them want complete sentence outlines. But ultimately, some of them will say you need to submit an outline by Friday, and you need to have some sort of base outline that you have in mind that follows the basic rules of creating an outline. Remember, first of all, that an outline is ultimately the plan of where you are going to go and what you're going to do with your topic. And so this outline is vital, especially the way that it is designed and set up and organized, and how much time you spend on it. If you spend a good amount of time and you make sure it's well organized, then you have a real opportunity to save yourself some time here. But if you just kind of plan a trip and then toss the map out the window as soon as you leave the house, then at some point you're going to get lost. And the same thing happens to your writing if you don't have a good plan. So to begin the formatting of an outline, it should look the same as you do for a paper. It should still follow all the MLA guidelines. Should still be, for my class, Arial size 12. It should still be double spaced. Nothing should be bold. Nothing should be underlined. Nothing should be special or unique. Ultimately, it should look exactly like your paper is going to look, but we're going to make it an outline. Most of the time, your outline will be in a separate document because you are usually going to submit it as a separate assignment. The same goes for this class. So we don't just start the outline at Roman numeral 1. We go ahead and we start it the same way we would start a paper, which is with a heading and a header with a page number to be properly formatted in MLA. So as you will see, I've already got my paper ready to go, and now I just need to begin to build my outline. But one of the things to understand is that if you're building an outline, I remember in my class I like to have an assignment title. We're not doing the paragraph, we're going to do the paragraph outline. But then I need my title, and we're going to pretend that I haven't created my title yet. And so I'm going to go up, and again I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to come back down. Now this is where I kind of briefly talked about this in another video discussing MLA guidelines, but your show hide button is your window to the world. And this little window will again show you all the mistakes you may be making, but it helps you to keep from wondering what the heck you're doing and chasing your tail for an hour. I love this little button. It's the best button ever because again it really lets you know what's going on. Now I'm going to make sure that you understand that I call this the P symbol, and I tend to call this the P button, and that's because this is the symbol for a paragraph. So this is the paragraph symbol. It looks a little bit like a backwards P, but you may have seen these before on a paper your teacher wrote you. They may have put it smack in the middle of a paragraph and put this little symbol, and you had no idea what this was. Ultimately, this signifies anywhere we're beginning or ending a paragraph. So for Microsoft Office and Word, it's every time we have hit return or enter, signals that we're now going to create a new paragraph, and so we've completed that paragraph, and I call these P's. I call these naked P's. And you do not want a lot of naked P's. They all need to have a buddy. They cannot be loners. They need to be paired up with something. There should literally be one, maybe two naked P's in your entire paper. Otherwise, you end up with a whole extra page that's going to print, and you're going to wonder why it's printing a whole nother page. And it's printing it because you told it to, because you told it you were putting something there whenever you hit enter. So, I call those P's paragraph symbols, and I tend to call this the P button. Now, notice again, I'm still doing double space, Arial size 12, nothing is extra. And what we're going to start with is the way that the paragraph outline works for this class. So typically the paragraph is the piece of a bigger whole, so we're just going to go ahead and number it as if it's one of those pieces. But usually the hierarchy for any writing is that whatever is the biggest idea would get the biggest and highest value of representation, which would be a Roman numeral. But here we're going to go ahead and start with letters because we're working on the paragraph to be a building block of an essay. We're intending to write an essay in the future. So understand that again, going on some other lectures that you've probably already gone through, we're working on the pieces of what we're doing. And so A, it goes right to the left-hand margin, and I'm going to hit tab. Notice my little firebolt. Okay, auto formatting will be the death of you, and it will be what keeps you cussing for hours. So we need to shut this auto formatting off as soon as we can. And you guys notice that this button up here turned gray. And it turned gray because that auto formatting has kicked in. I am going to encourage you to do everything manually because you have way more control and it's going to take you a lot less time to fix that mess. So I'm going to go down here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to stop creating automatic lists. And you'll notice it suddenly jumped back to the left margin, exactly where it's supposed to be, lined up with my heading. And you'll notice that now my indentation is a 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead and take just a minute to take the auto formatting out of the equation completely. So I'm going to go here to File, and then I am going to go here to Options. Once I go to Options, I am going to go to Proofing. Then once I go to Proofing, I'm going to go to Autocorrect Options. Now feel free to start and stop the video and do this to your own copy of Word as you go. So once I click on Autocorrect Options, or Auto Format Options, this is when all of the little devils hiding in Word are going to come and they're going to show themselves to you. So all these little boxes are places where Word does it for you. And unfortunately, you don't want it to do that, so don't let it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to leave, this is your lightning bolt button, and I'm going to leave your lightning bolt button on because if it rears its ugly head, you want to know it's doing it. Okay, so what you'll notice is it says correct two initial capitals, capitalize the first letter of sentences, table cells. This is all of your autocorrect stuff that you do like essentially when you text. But this is the one you're going to want to take off, is the replace text as you type. So go ahead and take that one off because that one could bite you later. So we're going to take that one off. Now you'll notice that there are some tabs here. So the next one I'm going to click on is auto format as you type. And this is the one that can play with you and get you cussing for hours. So I like the straight quotes, I like the fractions. I typically leave the bold and italic one alone. However, the internet and network path with hyperlinks needs to come off. Okay? If you choose to put in a hyperlink, you can do that. But whenever you're typing your paper for a teacher, there should not be a hyperlink because they can't touch the page and click the hyperlink and it puts it in a different color. All of your font should be black. So I'm going to leave the other two. But then here, the apply for your type, this is what makes this stuff jump into the margin and automatically number for you, where you have to go in and delete and re-delete and hit enter and try to get it fixed. So we're going to take all these off. And we're going to take this off as well. So anything below this line should be off. Then I'm going to come back up here and you'll notice that there is an auto format tab, and when I click it, it pulls it to the front. Now you'll notice those sneaky little buggers have made it into another window as well. Here they are again. We're going to take these 4 off. And then we're going to take the internet and network hyperlinks off as well. I don't know why they put it in there twice, but there you go, and you got to get it. So that should be off. These others you can leave, the straight quotes with the smart quotes, the ordinals, the fractions, the hyphens, the bold and italic, just leave those. Then I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to hit OK again, And now as I go in to do my auto formatting, notice my lightning bolt is still popping up. However, now I'm not going to get any of that auto formatting stuff. So this right here should be your topic sentence, and you're going to type your topic sentence here. So once you've got your topic sentence ready to go, you would come right in here, you would delete this out, and you would start typing, you know, many students are required or whatever your topic sentence is, something like that. Then I'm going to hit return, and notice that that bottom P has been pushed down, and that's the only one I want naked. And that's a big long story, but why? Now the B is going to be your body. So this is the body of your paragraph. Remember that your topic sentence is the one that introduces your paper, and the body is what is going to include all your detail sentences. So let's go ahead and put topic sentence back here just so we have our labels. And then here is where it can get really fun. Okay, so for this class, we're going to have 6 detail sentences. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have our C, which is our conclusion sentence. So this ultimately is the basic way we would create this outline. The only other thing that we have is we sometimes have some minor details. If my argument is that Central Piedmont Community College has many benefits to help students be successful, then I may have that we have computer labs here, and that my sub pieces are that they have computers and printers, and students can complete research and assignments. So notice that these are my sub pieces that support that my computer labs are beneficial to help students succeed. And again, that's also in one of the videos that may be available to you that show you how to create your illustration paragraph. Then notice that this would be the pieces that help to build the sentence. So many times this actually has A's or an A and a B that could help. You know, the Academic Learning Center has tutors that are available, you know, to help study material, something like that, help students study material. Okay, so there may only be one, and then I'm going to hit return, and so A, and B. So here we go, is again that this might be what it looks like. So this is our major detail and the minor sub-detail. That help to pull it all together. So major detail, and minor detail. So if I look at it, you should notice again that it's starting to have this little almost wave-like structure. And then, of course, again, more minor details as needed So some of them may have two sub or minor details to make it complete, and some of them may only have one. And then notice again how I'm doing all this. I'm hitting enter, 2 tabs, and a tab again. And so it should look pretty much be lined up all the way down. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that as I did this, that the conclusion is on to the next page. And some of you start freaking out, and then you try to take out all the spacing because, oh my gosh, the conclusion is on the next page. You need to allow Word to make it go to the next page. Let that part of the auto formatting kick in. Do not fiddle with the formatting of the page and try to squash stuff on one page or push it onto the other. You're just going to let Word determine where the page breaks and where the line breaks, and go from there. Now, finally, these outlines should be fragments and phrases. There's nothing I've put in yet that's been a complete sentence except the topic sentence. And that's because it does say sentence. You'll notice that your conclusion is the same way. It also says sentence. So these two should be complete sentences in your outline, but all of your major and minor details should be fragments and phrases. And that's because the simpler you keep it, subject, verb, object kind of thing, the more likely you are to stay on topic and to notice if you get off topic. If you muddle it up with a bunch of fancy words in here and decorative words and adjectives and adverbs and all that stuff, then you're going to start being way more paying attention to how it's already written. I don't want you doing that right now. I just want you planning your trip. You're not in the park yet, so don't ride a coaster when you're still at home. Okay? So I hope this helped. It can be a process, so feel free to watch the video several times and create your paper as you go. Have a good day.